Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest for us today. We have Mr. Matt Easter, the mayor of Rio Grande, right? Is
that is correct.
I mean, I've made this comment several times. Every town needs a Matt Easter because what you've done in this little town of Rio Grande, and we're going to talk a lot about it today, but thank you, sir, for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry it took so long.
That's all right. I've been pestering the hell out of you for...
It seems like every time that we were going to get together, something
happens.
Something fell apart.
Yeah. So, but you know, one of the main things I wanted to talk about today was, and I know everybody's going to get tired of this, except for you and I, but the economical impact that you've made down there in lots of fashions. But the main thing that I thought, or that I'm seeing, you know, that I'm down there 2 or 3 days a week for, is what you've done with the old horse trails and converted that into a mountain bike park. And then, you know, before the show, you and I were talking about how the Airbnb business is growing in Rio. And there's just, I mean, dude, hats off to you. You've done a heck of a job. So, I mean, were you raised there?
I was not. I was raised in the town of Vinton, a whole 7 miles away.
Yeah. Do those two, do they match up as far as if you're from Vinton, are you from Rio, or are you just hardcore Vinton?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's still Vinton blood at heart in me, but you know, I'm now a grander.
Oh yeah, you are Mr. Rio Grande. I don't think. How old are you, man?
I'm 48. I'll be 49 next month.
49. I'm 42. I'll say I was down there for a year, going to college right out of high school, and I don't think you were down there then. This has been in '99.
You know, I went straight to work after I graduated high school. I got my state job. I've been lucky enough to work for the state coming on 29 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. As a young man, I got 29 years in, so I'm really blessed there. But I went to college part-time. Actually never finished.
Yeah, I didn't either, yeah.
Don't tell the university.
Yeah. Well, now I saw they're building, 186 room dorm?
If memory serves me right, Jason, it's 149.
149?
149.
I think you shared a Facebook post or something about the build. There was a drone video.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It was an absolutely beautiful
and
building.
That's right there, part of the college, right?
That is. There used to be an old church there. There was a lot of controversy around that because, you know, they tore a church down, but the church was just pretty on the outside. There hadn't been a church congregation in that in like 12 years, and it was absolutely collapsing on the inside. The foundation was shot, and the pastor is the one that gave that land to the church for this dorm to be built. And that dorm is now Trinity Hall, named after that church.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, the legacy carries on.
You know, that's what's so cool about Rio Grande, I think, in a way, you know, with the college and you and... There's so, I mean, we'll talk about the flying chicken. I mean, how you keep these legacies in these old the legends, you know, just the Trinity, you know, dorms or whatever, and keep, like, you guys just have this really like unique way of keeping things alive, but like repurposing them.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a guy to think outside the box. I mean, I'm different. I know that.
Oh, dude, my dad's classic. He's like, yeah, I was taking the boys down there to elementary school, and there was this hippie-looking fellow down there standing around with the boys, and he goes, hell, come to find out it was the mayor. And I said, that's Matt, man.
I've always been different. You know, I've always been, you know, some people I'm weird or whatever, but I mean, eccentric maybe. I don't know.
I'd say eccentric, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, you're just you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm proof that you don't have to be a stiff in a suit.
Yeah.
To be in politics or make a difference in your community.
I truly don't know that I've ever seen anybody that's made more of a difference than what you have.
Well, I mean, you know, and I appreciate that statement, but I'm surrounded by a strong team of people, man. Mm-hmm. This is not Matt Easter alone. This is not. I mean, some of my ideas, for as many ideas that you see that are going great, I can show you
thousands,
double that fail.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the problem is you just can't quit when you fail at something, you know, you got to keep pushing for it. So as many times as I've stumbled, you know, we've also ran a little bit. So, but I'm surrounded by a big team, and, you know, Rio with its current growth boom, we've had some investment into the community from, you know, old alumni.
Okay.
That
for those that don't know, there's a college there, Rio Grande University.
Yeah, beautiful university. I think. Yep. I mean, I think the whole town is pretty. You know, it's home. But
And this place is also the home of the original Bob Evans Farms.
Correct.
Which was a huge huge industry at one time.
Yes.
That employed a lot of that community, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was long before I lived there, but yeah,
And you guys have integrated that in tremendously. Isn't there a Bob Evans Hall down there?
There's Bob Evans Farm Hall, yes.
That's what I
yes,
thought.
that was built before he had passed on.
Yeah, and is Jewel still alive?
Jewel passed 2 years ago, I believe.
Okay.
Matter of fact, one of our trails there.
Yeah, it's Jewel Ridge.
Jewel Ridge.
Yeah.
That's named after her, yeah.
I figured it was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those style towns, now that you do have the university, okay, but like most of your rural, small town America is really struggling right now.
Correct.
Now, you do have a bonus factor because of the college.
Absolutely.
How many students does the college have?
Oh, wow. Man, that's a number I should have prepared for.
You should know that.
Yeah, I should know that, shouldn't I? You know what? I'm afraid to even say.
I'd say we could Google it.
I don't know. We probably could Google it.
But, so there's an influx of at least probably 3,000 people a year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a constant, and most of them are commuters. That's a non-traditional style college student that commutes.
Yeah, I'd say they're easy 70-30 commuters versus residents.
Oh, I would say you're right.
Yeah. I don't know how many resident halls they have. I'd say there's probably 500 or 600 people live down there.
Oh, yeah, every bit of it.
In the dorms?
Yes.
Is there 1,000, you think?
Man, you're asking a hard question that I was not ready for.
That's all right.
I don't have that demographic.
Well, so you got 2,000 or 3,000 people coming, but going back, most of those small rural towns now have just plummeted. I mean,
they have.
And I mean, it's just a dogfight to keep a lot of these things alive and going. I mean, because people leave due to jobs. Now, that's one thing, other than the college, that's one thing it does not have is a lot of employment, though, right?
That is correct. But I think, for people that don't know, we got the new core plant coming in Mason County.
Okay.
That's going to employ 800 people, and those are jobs starting at, like the low level, 65,000 a year.
Yeah,
this is Mason County out in the middle of nowhere on the way to the Huntington Mall. So people are going to need a place to live. People, I think that's part of the reason that people are building houses in Rio is, if you have the resources and the overhead to be able to build a home to prep for the coming storm, which is what this gentleman's doing, that's invested into Rio. But it's not just him. I mean, now it's kicked off it spurred a lot of growth with more people investing in Rio.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, heck, you've got you don't have a hospital. You're really close to one.
Oh, yeah.
And you're really centrally located between like Jackson and Galplis.
Yep.
I mean,
almost an equal. I mean, Jackson's 5 miles more, maybe. Something
is that
like
what
that.
it is?
Yeah, something like that.
I wouldn't even have thought that, to be honest with you. But so now let's take a turn, and I want to know, because I know you know these numbers. Okay, so you took the old horse. A lot of listeners that we have, Bob Evans Farms was, the amount of acreage that they probably had at one time was probably in the thousands, I'd say.
I know what the university inherited, where the trails are and all the fields, with the windmill and, everything that people think of when they think of Bob Evans Farm.
Yeah.
I believe it was around 400 acres they inherited there.
That's just it. That's
just on one side.
That's just one side.
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
So I'd say pretty easy in between 1,000 and 2,000. Maybe not over that, but
that is a big farm, and it's absolutely. I mean, I see that farm every day, and every day when I drive by it, I'm like, wow,
it's pristine.
It is I tell people all the time. Of course, I'm partial to my community, but I think in the fall of the year when the leaves are on, we can compete with any town in Vermont, Massachusetts. I mean, I think it's that pretty there when everything's on fire. But I mean, year round, it's pretty.
Oh yeah, it really is. But you took Bob Evans Farms years ago. They had a horse camp, and they would take, like, my buddy Johnny Airwood used to actually work there, and I think he helped run it, and he would take people out on every day, 30, 40 people going out on these trails every day.
Yeah,
and that's what's amazing is that was happening so much back then.
Well, the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, Bob Evans Farm was a huge
tourist attraction.
Yeah.
Huge. Had rodeos.
It's still an attraction,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not. It's just not on the scale it was back then.
It's not really it is a working farm, but I wouldn't call it a touristy working farm.
No, it is. Yeah, I would agree with you there. Yeah, it's more for visual.
Yeah. So anyway, those people. So the trails. I was down there 20 years ago on a horse, or maybe even longer than that now. And the trails were nice, but they, I remember I went and I rode my mountain bike there at the same time that they were horse trails, and it was brutal.
Rough.
So then, Bob Evans closes up in what year?
Oh,
07 maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Even that was long before me. See, I mean, if you want to talk about the history of Gatewood trails, I mean, it supersedes me, the mountain biking community there. It really does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, I didn't really get into biking until I was late 30s. And it was just, I gained weight, decided on, I got to do something to get healthier. You're starting to feel that Grim Reaper's finger.
You're looking at it.
Yeah.
You're seeing it like, I'm 42 and I know what you're saying.
So, I first got into road biking and,
like full blown,
I mean, road biking for as much as you can as.
Well, I'm saying like full blown spandex.
No.
You was just shorts and a t-shirt going for a ride down the road.
Well, then I really, I started really loving the idea of mountain biking, and my wife for my 40th birthday got me my first what I would call real mountain bike.
Okay.
A little bit of money involved.
Yep.
So and she surprised me with it. Well, when I first started just, tooling around on it, I rode back because I remembered there were trails. I remembered there were trails back here.
Mm-hmm. And are you mayor at that time?
Yeah.
You were the mayor of Rio Grande at that time?
Sure was.
How long have you been a mayor?
I just got reelected. I've done it for 20 years, and I just got reelected.
Is that the longest in Ohio history?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You are the longest standing mayor in history of Ohio.
Oh, in Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I thought you said Rio. Oh, no.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I bet you're close.
I don't know. It's,
That'd be you ought to look at that. Yeah. So she got you your first real mountain bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you went back there.
Yeah. So, but let's not jump ahead. There was, and we still honor him. You see a sign as you go in. This was by far not my idea. John Burris was a man from Gallipolis, and he had this idea long before Matt Easter. I mean, this wasn't an original Matt Easter idea.
Okay.
But John Burris started, they actually had races there, and they were sharing the trails with horses, and you know how hard that is. I mean,
I'm a horse guy and a bike guy.
I mean, horses are great, but horses belong on horse trails, bike belong on bike trails,
100%, yeah.
So, anyway, he had started it with what we call the old school bikers that were there. I mean, there's still 4 or 5 of them. Some of them up here that Joe Finch.
Joe Finch,
Thad. Those guys remember John. I only met John once because I wasn't into bikes.
So John Burris was even if you go back any farther than 8 years, you are at the infant stages of the mountain bike sport.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, compared to where it is today.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's come leaps and bounds.
In 5 years, it's come.
Oh, and now we're into the e-bike era,
You're talking to one.
I know. I'm supposed to try one out this week.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, good luck. Get ready because you're going to buy it.
Oh, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
But
so
anyway,
Burris.
John had that idea, and
what was his idea?
To start mountain biking. They were really into bikes.
So was his idea to convert those trails, or was his idea just to share them?
Share them, because at that time, Bob Evans Farm was still running their horses, and even when we started refurbishing them, the horses were still there. Anyway, John, unfortunately, as a young man, got diagnosed with cancer, and I mean, I've heard these stories about him. He'd be out there with drain tubes hanging out of him, still digging trail. He believed in it that much. Unfortunately, he passed.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you the exact year that was, but right after John passed, the Duratio storm. Do you remember the big?
Oh, yeah, that was June 28th, or June 28th of 2012.
Okay, the derecho
I'm
storm.
an insurance guy, so I remember.
Oh yeah, I guess you would remember that one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's probably still a nightmare. You got PTSD from
Oh
that.
yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So John passed, and then the derecho storm came through, and I mean, what we call Gatewood now, that wasn't Gatewood then, was just demolished. It's gone.
Gone. Couldn't even find it.
It was a mess.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, whenever a storm comes through the wilderness like that, and if you've got it's time out. But I mean, that is just, if whenever they come through the woods like that, knocking down all those trees, you lost it all.
Yeah, and we've lost it all once since Gatewood was established, and had it back open in 2 days because of our volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's how it spurred off. So anyway, now
So derecho comes.
Derecho and Gatewood's left to lay. What we call Gatewood now is left to lay. So I'm riding this mountain bike, and I come across a guy with a pickaxe digging, and he's now become one of my best friends. But he's like, I'd like to get this place open again. He said, I remember when there was mountain biking here. Well, you know, Gatewood's in my backyard.
Yeah.
So it literally is in my backyard. So that spurred a friendship, and a couple guys going out there and digging in the woods and chainsaw and trying to open trail. And over the past 7 years, that has spurred into a volunteer group that maintains these trails, babies these trails, you know, works on them religiously. I mean, we've been out.
Hey guys, while we're paying the bills, let's talk about one of our oldest sponsors that's been with us since the beginning. Geiger Brothers. Geiger Brothers is headquartered in Jackson, Ohio, with offices in Columbus, Ohio, and Knoxville, Tennessee. We provide construction services in Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee. A veteran and dynamic staff of talented people, symbolic of our 100-year history of success, gives Geiger Brothers a distinct advantage. Leveraging that experience for our customers allows us the ability to provide consistent and superior performance for their construction, engineering, and fabrication needs. And hey, we've had several of these guys on our shows. Scott Massey, Kyle Hickey, Shay Meredith, just to name a few. Go back, look through some of the old episodes and get to know them. It's a great group of people that have been with us for a long time, and we certainly appreciate it. So enjoy tonight's show, courtesy of Geiger Brothers here in Jackson.
Somebody's probably there working 5-6 days a week.
And when
the weather's good.
Yep. Yeah, there's and when the weather's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's amazing how many people. I mean, but you were talking about trees. I mean, just since January 1st, we've removed 8 that have fallen.
I rode there for the first time this year, Friday.
Uh-huh.
And I saw where you guys had been in there cutting.
Yeah, well, I passed you in the parking lot. We were coming out from cutting.
I figured you was cutting, yeah.
Yeah.
So you go in there, you don't know. So that was 2012. So, that was about the time that I rode a mountain bike. I rode a mountain bike there in about 2009 or 10, probably.
Right.
And it was rough. And so the derecho comes in. Basically, at that time, without a large group of people, all trail uses would have stopped, and that would have just became another section of woods at that point.
Oh, yeah, it would have just been, yeah.
Okay, so you guys go in. How long does it take you to clean up the derecho?
Oh, my. A year.
Okay.
You know, and that's just piddling, you know, on our time, you know, grabbing a couple beers and going out there and trying to, you know, chainsaw another section open or whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
And that spurred into, you know, I never even know how it spread. I can't even remember that, honestly. But then another guy shows up, and another guy shows up, and another guy shows up. Next thing you know, we have a Facebook group, and we're sharing this. And, you know, when our second derecho came through, which was by far not nearly as bad, that was 2 summers ago. We got hit again.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing like that first.
No, it was nothing like the first one, but it still was 37 trees, I believe, had to be removed from one storm. And that was right before our flying chicken race, you know. And we put out a call on Facebook that, hey, if you ride here, we really need your help. This is a time where you got to step up.
Yeah.
And 14 volunteers came out, and in 2 days, every trail was open and cleaned and blown off.
In 2 days.
2 days.
And blown off with a leaf
That's
blower.
300 and some acres of woods. And I mean, there's trails everywhere. We call it the Spaghetti Noodle Bowl. I mean,
There's probably at least 18 to 20 miles, 21 miles.
There's 15. There's 15.
So if you ride it all.
If you ride it all, there's 15, but you got to backtrack on yourself. Because, when you first started building these, you weren't thinking it's going to spur or it's going to spawn into what it is now. So, you see a chance to build a line. You're thinking, we're only building this for ourselves because no one's ever going to come here. We're just building us a playground. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's become a destination for people to ride.
Unbelievable, yeah. So you go in, you get that open, and then, but how many, so starting in 2012, you're right, nobody coming. Mm-hmm. You and a couple buddies is all that's riding.
Oh, in 2012, I wasn't even, let's see, it's 24. I've only been
8 years ago.
8 years ago, so that would be what? 2016.
Yeah.
About 16 when I got involved.
So 2016 rolls around, but 2012 was there, and you're right. There might have been around here maybe 10 people that even mountain biked in Gallia and Jackson County combined.
Yep.
And
your number's not wrong.
No, yeah, it's pretty close. And now, so then what happened, do you think? Number one, what do you think happened to mountain biking?
I'll tell you what was really good for mountain biking, in my opinion, which was horrible for a lot. It was the pandemic.
Yeah.
The pandemic, man. People rediscovered the outdoors and realized how much fun it is to be outside.
Yeah.
Now, it was horrible for the bike industry because it was hard to get parts. It was hard to get bikes.
And now it's saturated.
It's saturated, and bikes prices are coming down, and people realize how fun this is.
Mm-hmm. So you think that what snowballed that sport was the pandemic then?
Well, I think it was on the rise anyway.
Definitely think it was on the rise.
But I think it was like, if you give an examples, you have one guy out of a group of friends that mountain bikes. Well, the pandemic hits and there's nothing to do.
Now 3 out of 5 do.
Right, because he's taking his buddies to the woods and showing them, hey, we can still come out here and play.
All day.
All day. All day. What else you doing?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's real easy. You don't have to feed it.
Nope. You have to give it a little TLC.
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
And that's on you.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
Yeah. And there's no traffic.
Nope.
There's now the only thing that I don't and you guys do this. The only thing that I don't like in the woods is dogs.
Oh, you don't like people bringing dogs?
I think if it's you just don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, I'm a dog lover. I love dogs.
Yeah, I love dogs too.
But whenever I used to horseback ride, if you were going to get into trouble, it was typically involving a dog.
Well, I think on a horse it might be a little different because that's a live animal, and a dog sees that, and the dog instinct kicks in.
Well, but what I think on biking is you get on them a lot quieter and a lot quicker, and you're wearing a helmet, and I think a lot of times it just...
Yeah.
Now everybody has dogs. I'm not saying that.
Oh, there's dogs. I mean, people hike with dogs.
Yeah,
out there all the
and
time.
I don't disagree with that. I just make sure that your dog is not just free roaming while you're hiking.
Oh yeah, you don't want that.
Well, they chewed that woman's leg off over in Moonville.
Oh, I know, that's awful.
I mean,
she's back on a bike.
Is she really?
Absolutely, man. That woman did not miss a beat. She would not let that. I cannot think of her name right now.
I can't either, but she's a savage.
She is a savage. Yeah. She is back on a bike.
Yeah.
And biking regularly.
Wow.
And still on those roads. I would think I'd be scared to death after something like that,
I'd probably have to give it up, really.
Oh. Well, a lot of people would give up just the fact that they lost a limb.
Yeah.
But
she's minus a leg and out there biking. So, but that pandemic, man, just took that thing to it. It did. I will say that the fire was going, and the pandemic was a large, open damper that just fed that fire.
Yeah,
air.
and it fed the hiking, the biking,
everything outdoors, fishing, hunting.
Yes,
everything.
Yeah, because I mean, people
sports.
We had our social lives put to a halt.
And it was like a social life that you didn't even really mean to get into.
Oh,
It was forced, like, you know, like it was.
You know, biking has the thing about Gatewood, and look, let's get to, so Gatewood grew, as we call it Gatewood. It was nothing then.
Why do you call it Gatewood?
Grandma Gatewood. Grandma Gatewood.
Which is who?
Okay, Grandma Gatewood at the age of 67, 69, and 71 in the 1950s, early 60s, hiked the Appalachian Trail. When men told her she couldn't do it, she did it 3 times. She did it with a laundry sack, a tarp or a shower curtain for a tent, and she actually saved the Appalachian Trail. There's a mural of her in Rio Grande, of her hiking, because she's from Gatewood County.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
wow. I didn't know this.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a great book called Grandma Gatewood's Walk. I mean, she was on all the TV shows back then that were black and white. You know, they brought her on, and she was a mother of 9. So, yeah. Oh, dude, her story, you talk about savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, her story is unbelievable. So we named
At ages 67, 69, and 71.
71. 71, she did it in stages, but 67 and 69, she through hiked it.
Wow.
Right. I couldn't do that.
2,200 miles, is that what it is?
2,200 miles, yeah.
2,280.
Georgia to Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't do that right now.
She do it each way? Like, did she do it one?
She did it. You know, I'm not, you know, that's a good question. I'm not sure which way she started.
That's big. That's a big, not an issue, but that's a.
Well, I mean, it's definitely something, you know.
That you have to figure.
Either way, you're starting in the cold and you're ending in the cold.
Starting in the cold and ending yeah. Well, or starting or ending in the cold.
Yes.
Either way, you're going to get cold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But she had no modern hiking gear. She was famous for walking in a pair of Keds. But see, what it is she read an article about this Appalachian Trail in National Geographic magazine. So she just decided, I'm going to go do this.
Well, she lived in Appalachia.
Yeah. So she just decided, I'm going to do this. You know, she had her kids raised. I'm out.
Nobody else with her, by herself?
No, by herself.
At age
And at that time, the Appalachian Trail isn't what it is today. The Appalachian Trail was basically just it goes somewhere through
Deer
there.
path.
Deer path, yes. Yeah, so the attention she drew to that from the government, the news agencies that are seeing this old woman, you know.
Yeah. I wonder how I've never done any research. How was the Appalachian Trail established?
It's a great question.
I was trying to think in my mind like what that would have been used for, that they would have named that, unless that was like maybe, you know, your original settlers or whoever that was horse and buggy.
That's a great question.
Maybe that was a modern day highway back in the day. For horse and buggy, if you wanted to go to Georgia or Florida, you took a piece of the Appalachian Trail.
I mean, you'd take a piece of it because you couldn't take the whole thing because it's rough.
Yeah. Well, man, I mean, they did.
But yeah, she's from Gatewood County. She's buried in Gallipolis.
Is she really?
So we did a little throw out to this classic trail legend by naming it Gatewood. Matter of fact, if I could here.
It text me a picture at the end. That's
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So here's our newest.
Oh, yeah.
We did a classic 1960s style postcard sticker. And then this is our, it's like a save the date for the Flying Chicken.
Absolutely.
We did it in a punk rock, like DIY style.
Oh, perfect. We will put these on the show. I'll have the editor.
Yeah, great. That's excellent.
Yeah, no, dude. So we're going to get into the Flying Chicken too.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah, like we'll talk about how the name is. The legend behind the name is
amazing.
It is unbelievable.
I didn't know it till last year, till you told me about all this.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, but so anyway, so Grandma Gatewood. So you devoted this trail.
Yeah.
So that was not. I'm sure it was a horse trail, but
so Bob Evans actually dedicated a one horse trail on what we call Gatewood Trails today was dedicated to Grandma Gatewood. It was called Gatewood. That's why we named it. You know, we're like, hey, Grandma Gatewood. It was trails. Let's go back to something that was not. You know, the signs from the 70s had all dilapidated and fallen into the. You know, they were gone.
Yeah, it was growing up back there.
Yeah, but you know, we found some old photos of Bob Evans dedicating this trail to her while she was still alive. I couldn't tell you the year she died. I think it was in the late 80s, maybe.
Okay.
So she's been gone quite a while.
Okay, so all right, so there's the Gatewood, and Gatewood is kind of like it's called the Gatewood
Gatewood Trail System.
Gatewood Trail System, yeah.
Yep.
So there is a main trail called Gatewood, and that's kind of your outer perimeter.
Correct.
Correct. All right, so now we're going back. It's 2012. You got about 10 guys. Now 2016 comes. You get into mountain biking. The fire's lit in a certain group of people. Bikers, and that community was still pretty small in 2016. Pandemic hits, and e-bikes, I think, and really good like social media.
Yeah, I mean social media. If people would learn to use Facebook for the proper use,
yeah,
we could do so much with
so
this
much,
world,
yeah.
But but they want to get on and argue politics. I mean, come on, man.
Well, and that's coming from a mayor.
Yeah, I mean, no one. You're not going to change. I'm not going to say anything so relevant to someone that they go, "Wow, you know what? I'm changing my thoughts on that." No, your mind's made up.
Yeah.
You're
Big part time.
You're arguing is all you're doing.
Yeah. So social media, lots of things get this whole mountain biking thing, and I mean, people are probably tired of hearing about it, but from me anyway. But it's just amazing to me the growth that it's had, and it's mind blowing because anybody can do it. Horses, little different story.
Right, expensive. You talk about expensive.
Oh,
I mean,
I own 3 of them.
Bikes are expensive. Horses,
Very
that's
expensive. Very expensive. Horses, very daily, work intensive. What else did you've got, what other hobbies are there? Skateboarding would be one. You can skateboard. BMX biking, freestyle biking, road biking. But all in all, I'm just talking about mountain biking as a sport because mountain biking is this totally different thing. So you got 2016, the crew's there, they're starting, pandemic hits, it explodes in my opinion.
Yep.
Now, hey guys, let's pay some bills here. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Kelly Wiley Group of Keller Williams Excel Realty. I tell you, we all know Kelly and we all know the group down at Kelly Wiley Realty, and I'm telling you, you won't find a better class of people to deal with. A verifiable fact, something that I found very interesting. They are the #1 real estate agency in Southern Ohio, and it doesn't shock me. I tell you, there's 180 different items that a home buyer and a home seller must do whenever you buy or sell a house. The Kelly Wiley team is great at all of them. They will help you out from start to finish. They have some of the most up-to-date processes and systems that you can possibly dream of. You're going to love the whole entire experience. So if I were you, I would give those guys a call at 740-577-3795. That's 740-577-3795. Or you can also look at all of their inventory at kellywileygroup.com. Compared to 12 years ago in 2012, when we talked about probably 10 mountain bikers between Jackson and Gay County, true mountain bikers, Thads, the Joes.
Yep. Yeah, those guys are old school.
They're old school.
I mean, they're the OGs.
They are. Anytime I ever need a place to go, shout out Joe and Thad and Tony and all them guys. But
Tony Thorne.
Yeah,
forgot about Tony.
Yeah. Anytime
sold him a bike.
Anytime I ever get a chance to go somewhere, I call those guys and say, where should I go? Because they've been everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, man, but anyhow, so pandemic hits. Now let's just talk about, so I was down there on a February Friday day last week. 4 cars in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. I passed 2 hikers. This is not counting you guys. You guys were on in the back, but I passed two kids hiking, a girlfriend and boyfriend hiking. I passed, I think 4 or 5 bikes.
Every bit of it.
Yeah, and that was for a 2-hour time period, midday on Friday.
Yeah, I mean the place stays hopping. And okay, I guess I want to say this so I don't forget. We are blessed in the fact that the university kind of gives us carte blanche over that property.
Gives you what?
Carte blanche. Just we trust you. Okay. We've earned their trust. Yeah. When it comes to stewarding, our stewardship of the land, and this idea, when Bob Evans, when the mountain bikers were there, we were basically trespassers. Yeah, I mean, we were basically trespassers. You know, they saw us going in and out, but we had no permission. We had,
But biking wasn't, biking was just never looked down upon.
no. And the thing is, I mean, we have taken that land, and we've found spots in the woods where we've picked up 3, 4, 50-gallon trash bags of beer cans from the 1980s when college kids used to party in those woods and things.
Yeah.
We've cleaned those woods up.
Yeah.
And the university, they have no plans for those woods, and they've seen what it's done for the community and how busy.
What's done for students.
Sure, it's something to do.
These students are now mountain biking out there.
And a lot of them, you see a lot of them hiking.
A
lot of students, I mean, they can't afford the sport of mountain biking. The sport of mountain biking, it isn't cheap.
It's the initial investment's tough.
Yeah, it is. You can get into it for a relatively low price, but the problem is
it's not going to last long.
My wife always jokes about me every time I come in with another part. She's like, "It'd be cheaper if you were a drug addict," because she's probably right. I mean, it becomes obsessive. You want the better gear, you want the nicer, because it works better.
There's no arguing it.
There is no arguing it. It really is.
Technology just keeps getting better. These full suspension mountain bikes now are. How do you feel about? How does your buddies handle you mountain biking? Do they? I have buddies that think I'm an idiot. I have buddies that stop me and say, "Hey, I want to do that," and I have people that's like, "But there's no way I could do that." I mean. Give me your mountain biking,
most of my buddies are involved in it.
Mine, I'm growing that way.
Yeah, most of my buddies are involved in it. So,
but how do they feel about? I watched a guy that was 8. I saw a guy that was 70 down there at Rio the other day.
Oh, yeah. I rode. It was a gravel grinder up in Athens before they shut it down, and there was a man in his 70s then that. I was younger. I was low 40. I was just turned 40 maybe. Man, I couldn't keep up with him.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot.
I think the good thing about mountain biking is especially I'm really pro e-bike. A lot of trail systems are they're like, oh well, and I think it's because cycling has kind of an elitist attitude.
I'm starting to realize there is a group of assholes in it.
Absolutely, there are. They're everywhere now.
Yeah. It's grown to the point where there's now 2 sections.
Yeah.
there's assholes and not assholes.
Yeah. So the thing that gets me about that is, they're like, oh well, e-bikes, that's cheating. No, but how about this? It's keeping an 80 or 70-year-old man that's had a hip replacement. It's keeping him in a sport that he loves. How is that bad?
I'm 42.
I'm 49 and I'm going to look at one.
Yeah, I analog bike. You remember I was down there on my analog. I had that Trek Fuel, and I did that for a couple years.
I analog bike. I single speed. I have a single speed.
I've done it, and I did the. I had a Trek Fuel, had a giant Rincon before that. Now what I've found is I enjoy the e-bike, and I bike more.
Well, and that's what I was talking to one of our. Shout out to Kevin Lyles, guy.
I met Kevin.
art professor there, university. Yeah, he's an artist, a pretty fantastic one at that. But he had a hip replacement, and he walked with a hobble beforehand. He's our chief chainsaw guy. When we have a bad tree down that we can't get, Kevin Lyles comes in. We call him the fixer on that. He just knows. He got an e-bike, and I'm watching this man, and he is. He smiles like a Cheshire
How
cat.
old is he?
Mid-60s.
Yeah, I was going to guess him in his 60s.
Mid-60s.
And he bikes as much as I do, and you do,
dude,
and more than you.
I was telling him I haven't been on a bike in 2 months.
Yeah.
Winter hit,
Yeah.
Now I'm there every day working, or
you're getting your bike tickle.
I'm hiking or working on the trails, which I find as a biker, it's really weird, but I get as much out of building those trails as I do riding them. Mm-hmm. I really love trail building.
Yeah. So, I'm with you on the e-bikes. Like I get it. There's a time and a place for them, but I don't think they do any more damage than walking.
One place I really love is like the Pisgah area of North Carolina.
No e-bikes.
Ridiculous. They're like, well, they tear up trail.
No, they don't. Yeah,
what do you mean?
I got stopped in DuPont.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
They kicked you out?
Yep. Told me to leave. by the Ranger.
Oh, the Ranger.
Yeah, we went this past fall or this past October. Me and Buddy went down. Shout out Hills for the Hustle, Adam Kohler. But we went down, stayed, and we went to ride Canuga.
Oh, now that's e-bike friendly.
That's e-bike friendly. Yeah, they rent them there. Yeah, it's private.
Yeah.
And
that's Nico Mullally that built that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we rode that, and while we were there, we were like, hey, let's hit DuPont, So we hit, and we had jumped in on like a trail portion that we just kind of pulled off side of the road and jumped in the woods. And there was signs at the parking lots, but we didn't. There's so many of the, like in that forest, there's so many little pull offs and trail accesses and stuff.
It's like 400 miles of trail.
Yeah. So
over that whole area,
and on those apps, you can see all this stuff. So we just pull over and go jump in the woods, and we didn't see any signs. And I actually got lost from Kohler, and I was by myself, and the game warden flagged me down on the road. I was actually on the road. I was not in the trails. I was on the road.
He knew where you've been.
No, you're not allowed even on the roads.
On an
You're not allowed inside that national forest right there, at DuPont National Forest. You are not allowed anywhere in that boundary on one.
That just seems like a ridiculous law to me.
I don't know. I cannot buy into the logic behind it.
I don't either.
It gets more people there. Yep. Now here's what I will say. I will say they probably do. I don't like the fact that they'll say, okay, well, they're too powerful or they're too dangerous. Okay. Well, then show me your signage that says no passing and that you are directing traffic on a daily basis somehow, some way. Either a Monday, Wednesday, you ride these ways, Tuesday. Because if you're worried about people passing, then you should direct the trail flow, okay? And then they also say they cause fires. Then show me your no smoking sign.
Right.
Because if you're that, or are you just singling these out to e-bikes? Because, if you're allowed to smoke in the woods, I guarantee you there's a statistical fact that there's more cigarettes cause fires than e-bikes.
Well, if they're worried about fires in the woods, hell, I'd be worried about brake rotors down there, from coming downhill.
Coming down the hill, yeah.
I've touched some brake rotors before that
light a leaf.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll smoke a leaf. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
I think it's it's definitely a change that's going to come.
That's a state thing with North Carolina.
Yeah,
too.
it really is.
Yeah,
it really is.
And you got that Asheville area right below it or right above it.
Yeah, but like Canuga with Nico Mullally, who's a pro. He builds Canuga, which is a jump park for people that don't know. Basically, you can go there and learn to jump a bike. I've not been to Canuga yet.
It's wild.
I hear it's wonderful.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. But they built that e-bike specific, so it's definitely the wave of the future. It's coming.
It's coming.
It is. Things change,
Yeah. It's, and there again, it's still a bike.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's no throttle on these things.
No, not at all. You got to pedal.
You have to pedal them. And what I like about them is the speed aspect. Like, I like to go fast. Okay?
Right.
I get really bored if you can, and people don't understand this. You can outwalk a bike up hills.
Oh, yeah. We went down there we were down in Asheville area. Me and the guy that built, that I met when we first started building, and we rode Black Mountain.
Never been there.
Or Kitsima in Black Mountain. Mm-hmm. And his idea was, I'm going to pedal up. I mean, it's hell to get to the top, but then it's like 4 miles of just
straight downhill, or just sweet down,
just
beautiful,
down. Just beautiful flow downhill. So it's worth it.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm going to pedal to the top of this. Well, the whole time I was pushing my bike right beside him, talking to him. So I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're just burning your gas.
Yeah. The downfall to the e-bike is like when I go to snowshoe, it's too heavy to really do much fun on a jump park.
That's why you keep.
Yeah. I need to get an analog. I'd like to get like the full, bars and the whole bit. I'd like to build a downhill bike for that. But, I'm also 42, so I don't know how much of that I really want to be doing. But yeah, so how many people, back to Rye Grand, you do allow e-bikes,
Oh, yeah, we're e-bike.
I love that.
We're e-bike friendly.
And it's about 50-50 down there.
Yeah, we've definitely seen, if you go back 5 years, you wouldn't have seen one e-bike.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing...
It's about 50-50.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot.
Yeah, especially if you pass somebody new. Typically, they're on an e-bike, you know, or not a.
Well, you know, the thing when it gets to e-bikes, the thing I like about that is, you know, my wife's a hiker, loves to hike. If I wanted to get my wife into mountain biking,
That's how you do it.
well, here's the thing: if we took off on two old school bike, or you know, she's going to hate it.
Take your kid and put him on an old school bike in the woods. I'm not talking the trail in your neighborhood. I'm talking 10 miles in the woods.
Yeah.
And they are going to hate it.
They're going to hate it. When I first got into it, I'm like, how is this sport popular?
Yeah, I did too.
But then I started getting a little better, a little stronger. Whatever.
Bikes came around.
Bikes came around.
Yeah. I think that's what held a lot of people back from it all along was the technology of the bikes. They just couldn't figure it out.
Right.
You know, and they weren't doing it. I'm not saying you didn't have bikes that would go, but can you imagine the maintenance on those bikes back in the 80s and 90s?
I mean, God bless Gary Fisher.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because, I mean, I know how hard I am on a bike now, and I can't imagine doing it on 26s, you know,
Right.
and just, you know, a lot of times rim brakes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just body positioning just way out of whack.
Yeah, I was watching some old films of John Tomac and them, you know,
Mm-hmm.
racing, and their bars, you know, there was
Yeah.
no room for error.
No room for error. Yeah. I mean, so how many people do you think on a yearly basis, and then we'll get to this flying chicken, but how many people on a yearly basis, because of the mountain bike Gatewood trail system, how many do you think come to ride there a year? And I guess how many visitors a day? Because you do have guys like Thad and Joe. However, I gotta say this about them. They are coming from another town into Rio Grande every single day.
They are, and they stop and spend money.
Guarantee
our town.
it.
They do. I see their trucks parked at
Guarantee it.
our restaurants and, you know, gas stations.
That's
things.
money coming in.
That's part of the, you know, part of the reason that I find this trail system so important is it's one, it's so popular right now, but two, trail systems spur your economy.
Absolutely.
You know, it may not be the economic boost that
A factory does.
A factory does.
I was thinking about that before the show today. I was like, you know, how can we talk about with you and I? How can we talk about the economical impact of that mountain biking trail system? And you know, it was hitting me like if you're not into mountain bikes and you see these events that might do 200 people in a weekend, well, that's great. But these people are looking for millions of dollars into a designated city. Completely agree. You know, industry brings that.
Absolutely, and you need it.
And you need it. However, you can't overlook the icing on the cake, which is like the trail system that brings in 200 a week, 200, you know, 50 a week, 200 a month.
When the summertime, when the weather really breaks,
We're in Ohio, so
that trail system gets busy.
I would say in the peak time, you're getting at least
I mean,
40
I've
a
seen
day.
10, 15 cars at the trailhead at a time, which, I mean, that doesn't sound to the common listener. It's not. Yeah, that's a lot. You know,
in any given hour.
in any given hour of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that trail. I've seen it all hours of the day.
Yeah.
Constantly 10, 15 cars.
And
there.
again, shout out to the university. They allow us to utilize that, you know, to make this for our community there. It's fantastic.
So to me, in the new mountain biker, you have been the one that kind of have pioneered this. Not pioneered, but you've really took it and went.
Well, you know, the good thing about our group down there is we don't have a president. We don't have a vice president.
Genius.
We're basically anarchic, you know. I'm just a guy that can talk,
Yeah.
you know. So I'm the mouthpiece.
So you have no president,
No,
treasurer,
no,
no money.
Oh no, wrong.
Okay.
We do have money,
Okay.
not a lot.
Yeah.
One of our chief engineer. Well, he's an engineer. When we go to build something wooden, he's the guy that does math. The rest
Okay.
of us idiots can't do it.
I was going to say, because there's some pretty, I was looking at that down there Friday. Yeah. You know, that wall, to be as sturdy as you guys
Yeah.
made that, man.
Yeah, and we hauled all that lumber by hand up that hill.
Did you really?
Yeah, it sucked.
Now, why don't you put in like a side-by-side access or
Well, I
something?
mean, we do have, and actually we used, it was dry, and we did drag a lot of it with a four-wheeler,
Yeah.
you know, because it was just such an undertaking. But our engineer works for Toyota. Well, he's an engineer and the guy that really maths out all these builds.
Hey, guys, we got to pay the bills. Let's talk about AP Prep and how you look them up at apprep.info. You go in there. If you got a child and they need performance training, that's one of the things that they offer. And it's simple. Their performance training, it drives their athletes to seize full genetic potential. And first of all, they're going to assess your kids' overall balance, their mobility, their hand-eye coordination, their foot speed, understand all their body mechanics, their output, their strength, everything. Look them up, apprep.info. All the info's there. You'll see it. Then they got a boxing class for the adults. It's $10, or you can join by the month. These workouts, you can burn up to 1,000 calories an hour. So, guys, you can't beat it. Look it up. I know it's a drive over there. It's a good time for you and your kid. You'll love it. Do some good bonding time. apprep.info. Look them up.
So Toyota donates to us. We have a small account set up through the college
Okay.
that, we get Toyota money into. They actually donate. He turns in hours and they donate to us. But if I told you the truth, man, our cash is in a jar. I'm not kidding you when I say that. Our cash is in a jar, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I said, it's pretty anarchic. I mean, and everybody gets along. That's what's crazy. I see these other trail systems where they like have rules and groups, and then you watch them on Facebook argue with each other. We don't have any of that down there.
Do you think you will?
No, I really don't.
I mean, some of them, some of them there, I won't mention the parks' names, but some of those community, but still privatized. I don't know how to explain that. Like there's a lot of them like that. Like they're owned by the municipality or the college or the public system, but they're ran by a little group.
Yeah. Well, basically Gatewood is that way.
It is, yeah.
But
lots of them are.
Yeah.
So, do you think the more traffic you get, do you think that you will have to get into like that vice president role?
Man, I really hope
you guys
not.
have had to have that talk.
We have talked about it before because it helps you if you're establishing an LLC or you're establishing, if you're going for a grant.
Yeah, who do you write that through? The college?
We've never written a grant.
Yeah, but you could.
This has all come out of our pockets.
So, but you know how it is. Let's just say something happens to you, the continuation of it.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm always excited if I get a young person coming along.
Yeah.
I'm talking like I'm an old man. I'm not. But, well, at least to some I would be. But I'm always excited when a young mountain biker comes along that shows a little gumption because,
So what is the plan?
Well,
you don't know yet.
we're figuring that out, man.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure that's why most of them actually end up going that direction. Is just for the continuation.
Yeah.
And you want it to be.
I like to think that maybe, when the caretakers of that place are gone, that it's still as popular as it is today, that eventually, if you go there 3 times and you run into the same tree that hasn't been removed, you'll take it upon yourself to go remove it.
Yeah.
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 We want everybody to take ownership of it. And what we found is they do. We never find trash. Mm-hmm. We never find
very clean.
Very clean. If you do find some, it's usually a water bottle because it's fallen out of a pack.
Yeah, or a cage or something.
Yeah. And we pick it up.
Never see cigarette butts. Never see beer cans.
Never. Very clean place.
And a very dry. Like it's crazy. Like, where most places would have been a soup bowl the other day, Rio was dry as a bone.
Well, see, it's
soft.
It is soft,
but it's still dry.
It's wintertime.
Yeah.
It just comes with the season. But we've put in a lot of drainage and all that back there. You find where the drainage is.
Yeah. So then you started up. Okay, going full circle here. You started up the Flying Chicken.
Yeah. So that's been that's been really successful.
So the Flying Chicken is the only that I know of mountain bike race at Gatewood Trail System.
Yeah, and it's not even a race. It's a tongue-in-cheek time trial, and that's what it is. It's tongue-in-cheek. That is a kooky, fun event for everybody.
Yeah. So tell us about it.
Okay, so the Rio Grande Memorial Association and the Bean Dinner, for those of you who don't know, a Bean Dinner, Rio Grande has the second oldest bean dinner in the United States. And what a bean dinner was, they put them together for, they were a veteran service after the Civil War. You get together, pay for beans, And let's say if Johnny came home with his leg missing, that money went to help Johnny's family. It was almost like a VA, veteran service in the 1800s. You know, it's how it started. Well, Rio Grande has kept their bean dinner going. So is the town of Vinton. Vinton has 1 year on us. They're the first oldest.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
so I got involved with helping them every August. I mean, it's a great event, and just had the idea because you're seeing the older people start to,
They're dying.
They're dying.
Yeah.
You know, and this bean dinner was really popular with the older crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I went to the head of the bean dinner and I said, what if we tried to put on something mountain bikey and you guys can have all the money? I said, just to help every year, just something else to add to this.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried it. And
What year is that?
we've been doing it 5 years.
2019.
Yep.
This
18.
be your 18.
18.
Yeah, this will be your 6th.
Yep. Yes. So,
First year, how many did you have?
20.
Okay.
20. And what we charge is, okay, so to get in the bean dinner, it's $4, and it's all the beans you can eat. We're charging $25, and you get all the beans you can eat.
Which is a cheap mountain bike race or mountain
Well,
bike.
yeah, you don't get a T-shirt. You don't get a trophy.
You get a lot.
Well, now you do.
I was going to say, I walked
Now
out there
you
with a bunch of stuff.
Oh, man. Did you win?
Yeah, I want a set of pedals, a T-shirt.
Oh, plus you get your swag bag.
Yeah.
See, my wife and the engineer's wife, Dave, her name's Rachel, they kind of run that stage for us, and they go out and they get up all the donations. And I mean, we've given away some really nice stuff down there.
Yeah,
You know?
you have. Yeah, that's a legit deal. I mean, for $25, you'll walk out of there happy.
We Jenny figured it up last year. Jenny's my wife. Nobody that registered for $25 took less than $25 worth of swag bag out of there with them.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it's really cool because, I mean, you're basically, and you get to come and it's more of a networking event because we're using Strava, and anybody that depends on Strava, man.
It's a Strava. Yeah, that was the first time I've ever heard that. I did it last year, and you called it a Strava race, and I wasn't really using Strava. I still don't really use Strava.
I mean, nobody comes there going, I'm going to win the flying chicken.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It's coming. Somebody will. You wait. It's getting big enough now.
Man, I hope not. I mean, we have people in costumes.
You do,
know?
yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot of fun.
So last year, you probably had close to 200 people.
We had 55 registered racers.
What
But,
were all those people doing there?
well, I mean, you got to think their families are with them. You know,
Yeah,
there was
I
there
guess
was
I didn't think of
a
that.
group called the Trail Sisters that came down just to run our trails that morning, and they paid an entrance fee just out of the kindness of their hearts.
You see, there was probably whenever you guys gave that speech. I mean, I figured 200.
Well, a lot
riders.
of people. So there was people from the bean dinner that walked up. So we had a group of people.
And you just see bikes laying everywhere.
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere.
You don't know who's riding and who's not.
There's no organization to that thing.
It
And
was
that's
pretty wild.
That's how we like it.
It
you
is.
know?
It's cool. Yeah.
It is. You know, like I said, nobody's serious about it.
Yeah.
So, and that's,
Nobody was serious. I got lost.
Yes, you're going to get lost because, I mean, we do our best.
Yeah. So give me the origin of the flying chicken.
So when we were coming up with the name with that, so Bob Evans Farm, and people don't realize, you tell people this story and they're like, you're lying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not. So
That's what I thought too.
no, so there used to be an International Chicken Flying Association in the United States of America.
International Chicken Flying Association. Okay?
Yes. Sounds like a buddy's drinking club in his basement or
Yes.
something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, this was legit. So Bob Evans Farm was one of the stops on the Chicken Flying Association. And what it was, they set up mailboxes on a hill. They had these big mailboxes. And you plunged your chicken. You opened the mailbox and the chicken could go out. It was on a hill. And you saw how far your chicken would fly. If your chicken didn't go, you pushed it out with a plunger. I'm not making this up.
And it would fly off the hill.
Yeah, glide. Because a
Glide.
chicken doesn't necessarily fly. But the world record chicken flight was set at Bob Evans Farm. I'm not kidding. I know. I know. I'm creative, but I'm not creative enough to make that up, man.
Yeah, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Where are you getting? Is this Welsh information?
No, it's there's actually, I could hook you up with a historian down there that remembers. He remembers the name of the chicken was Lola B. Her name was Lola B.
Wow. And this was a big deal. And what year would that have been?
They shut it down in the 80s is when they stopped doing it.
Like 1980s?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a picture.
Oh, I was thinking this was like 1800s.
No. I've got a picture of a chicken flying T-shirt.
Okay.
Yes.
I knew a lot of people knew the name Flying Chicken.
Yeah, so that's why we just took it instead of chicken flying. We just made it Flying Chicken.
The Flying Chicken, okay.
Yeah, that's how we came up with the name for that. It's
Okay.
another throwback to the history of Bob Evans Farm.
Well, that day, all in all, man, I would say just back there at the trailhead system between the bean dinner and where we had our thing going on, there's probably 500 or 600 people back there.
Oh, yeah. And, if you took the mountain bikes out of that, you would have had 100. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
So what we've done with that money is last year we supported 3 causes. There's 2 that we support every year, and that is Wreaths Across America.
Wreaths.
Wreaths. It puts a wreath on a soldier's grave at Christmas.
Okay.
Both of these are veteran services we support.
Okay.
And we support 10 Rose Cemetery, which is in Rio Grande, full of veterans. Okay.
Okay.
We gave $300 to them last year. And we gave $1,000 to the Rio Grande Memorial Association, which is their veteran service. Hence to the history of the bean. Really isn't a veteran service. It just keeps the history of what spurred veteran services. How about that?
Okay.
The Civil War. Mm-hmm. We gave them right at $1,000.
Okay.
And then the mountain bike, we keep, the only money we keep that day is the money we make off our raffles. And you can enter your raffles. And we gave
pots, maybe.
we gave away Oakley sunglasses. We've given away Yeti coolers. And what it is you buy a armload of raffle tickets, and then you can go and choose what you put them in. Mm-hmm. But you can only win one prize throughout the day.
Yeah.
So if I pull Jason Gilliam's name twice, sorry, Jason, you only get one thing.
You were automated and everything. Like I got a text and stuff.
It's my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, she takes really big pride in.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what dirt bagger?
Yeah.
All the riders are called dirt bags, right?
Yeah, it's just something we just call ourselves dirt because we were always so dirty. I mean, from digging in the woods.
It said, hey, dirt bag, you've won a swag bag. Come claim your prize. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was out in the woods.
She does a great job with managing.
I loved it. I thought the whole race was fun. And you know what was amazing? I thought, too, at the end of that, I have some family down there. Tom Weaver's my Tom and Tim.
Oh, no way. Tom was on my council.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I ended up seeing him down there. And he lives in Galplis, but very heavily involved in Rio Grande.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. And
Tom's a good man.
Yep. And so anyway, he ends up, I let him ride the bike.
Cool.
And I think you'll start seeing that. Like you'll start to see people that are like, oh wow, we came to this, we saw that, or even college isn't in then though, is it?
It is not. That's in August.
Yeah, so that would help you a little bit if those college kids were like, man, what's going on back there?
Right. Right.
That'd be kind of cool.
It's a pretty hopping spot.
It is.
About 3:00 in the afternoon.
People fishing, music.
Yep.
I saw Ryan Smith there last year.
President Smith's always there.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, there was lots of people there you saw. It was just a good time. Ran into even some Jackson buddies that I hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Hey guys, time to pay some bills. This show brought to you tonight by Brad and Sarah Munn, owners of your local McDonald's restaurants. Brad and Sarah have done a lot for our community, and McDonald's has done a lot for all of us. The statement, I'm loving it, we can all relate to that. We've been loving it for years, and we love what they do for our communities and our families. But let me talk about a big charity that they do, and that is the Ronald McDonald House. Man, anytime you get a chance to leave your change for that, it's a great thing. They allow parents of sick children to stay with their kids at the hospital for free. And that's just the kind of things that McDonald's does. Get out and support your McDonald's restaurant.
So
I'm hoping to bring you 3 or 4 more this year.
I'm hoping you do too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the more that discover that trail system, the better off it is.
I got a buddy right now that's flat wearing it out for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, Matt Jenkins.
Oh, he likes it.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah, that's his home. He likes
That's
riding.
good. I'm glad to know that he's enjoying it. That's why we built it.
He got into biking late this fall, and did I take him down there first? I can't remember. I think we went to Riot Grand first. That's another thing about Riot Grand. Probably the most beginner-friendly trail within 75 miles.
Yeah, you can really learn to ride a mountain bike with us. When it comes to Black Diamond, which is, for those who don't know, that's the hard. That's the hard stuff.
Like ski slopes.
Yeah, Black Diamond. We don't have much of that. Ours is basically green and blue. And it's a good.
You got a gnarly blue one.
We've got some gnarly
the
stuff.
gauntlet, or what is it? The golly. What is it?
Yeah.
The
Shakedown Street or Golly Run.
Golly Run.
Golly Run. Yeah.
Golly Run's got some drops, and it's got a G out over there that's nasty.
Yeah, you can get hurt there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I wouldn't want to come up it the other way either.
No, it's hard to walk up.
I bet it is. Yeah,
it's hard to walk up.
You've got a high bank wall.
We do wood.
I don't know if you'd call that a wooden berm.
Wooden feature. We just call anything we build out of wood. We call feature.
How tall is that? 8 foot.
Yeah,
8 foot
of it.
Yep. You've got several wooden ramps.
Oh yeah, we just hauled the lumber in Saturday for another one.
Okay, where are you putting it at?
It's over on Red Storm. There's an old fallen tree that we've looked at for years, and we're like, hey, we got this.
Red Storm and Voodoo.
Red Storm and Voodoo's great.
Yep.
We just opened all the trees that have fallen over January.
Yeah,
So it's open again.
I like Voodoo a lot. I like Red Storm too. I'm just now. You've got a lot of country over in that area, don't you? What's the
that's
overall
unused.
that's unused? What's the plan? Is because like whenever you go in, there's basically two fingers to the left, 2 ridges that you're riding, and 1 ridge to your right.
That's correct. The ridge to the right is the least developed right now. I would say that there's more room,
Spacier.
a lot more space. Yeah.
Wonder why it is. You think because not as steep? Well, it is.
Terrible planning from mountain bikers.
Yeah, I tell you, I like my favorite is probably what's the one? Go past the sign up on top and to the right. Oh man,
Short Circuit?
no. Go down past the sign. You're taking Black Snake over through there, and it bears off to the right. Oh man, goes down in that creek and then back up, and then you got to come back up the.
Oh yeah, that's what we call spooky.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Another one.
Who knows?
Oh man, I can't.
They're everywhere, man.
I have a video of it on there. That's my favorite one out there. But I love all the wooden features. You got it's mostly single track.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, mostly single track.
How many miles would you like to get there by the time it's all said and done?
I mean, I really think, if you stopped right now and just maintained it, you've got one hell of a trail system for a small town.
As e-bikes progress, it won't be enough.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're going to have e-bikes, because they're at a minimum battery source, you can get about 22 to 24 miles out of one in full
You just
boost.
do it twice, man.
I do it. I do that a lot. Yeah, I do that a lot. But it's awesome, dude. I mean, I wish every place had a Rio Grande, mountain bike system.
Yeah, we've got a lot of hope right now for Rio Grande in general. I mean, and let me preface this by saying we don't have the money yet, but
Yeah.
we have asked you may be familiar with this, the Appalachian Community Grant Program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's $500 million floating out there right now. And I'll tell you, one of your hometown boys that's working, for Gatewood County, Cole Massey. Do you know Cole? His mom owns a spot on Maine.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't think I know. I know who he is. Yeah.
He's the economic director now.
Okay.
So
in Gallia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he works. His office is out.
Oh, I know which one that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
So he's been a real boss in helping us on this project.
Well, good deal.
But we've asked for. Well, this is just one of the projects for Rio Grande is a $1.1 million skate park pump track combo, because this Appalachian Community Grant Program. People will say, well, why aren't you using it for infrastructure? Because you can't. They won't allow you to. They want you to build transformative recreational projects.
Recreational projects.
So yeah, I mean, you know,
Where would
somebody
you
will
put
send me
that?
up by the grade school. Up by the grade school on Lake Drive, we have a large piece of property up there that's flat that used to be a ball diamond.
I know where that is. Yep.
Yeah. So, and it's already got a shelter house on it.
Yeah.
We worked with a company called Velo Solutions. We submitted the designs. You know, it's part of our request from the Appalachian Community Grant Program. I mean, hopefully in March they'll let us know. You'll hear me yelling in Jackson. I really hate getting my hopes up because you can get let down when it comes to grants.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Oh my.
Yeah, that would be huge.
That's when Rio Grande will need a bike shop. Skate shop, bike shop.
It's borderline there now.
Yeah, it'll need it. If that comes through, you're going to need it then because you're going to see a real...
A man could do it now out of his basement in Rio Grande.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my
Yeah.
my basement alone is... if you only knew how many mountain bikers store bikes at my house.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, man. People, I mean, you'll hear the door to my garage. You'll hear it thunk. Yeah, I'm telling you, I think my neighbors, like, somebody could rob my house and they'd be like, oh, Matt loaned his TV out. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, there's somebody coming and going.
All the time.
Because, well, I've got access to the trails.
Yep, you're the mayor.
And all my buddies. I mean, if you go to my garage, they're just lining the walls. And everybody's like, you own a lot of bikes. I'm like, no, those aren't mine.
Yeah.
Those are friends that...
Yeah, it's a very cool system. Any hiker or biker, I would encourage them to go check it out. There's a lot of history.
Gatewood trails, yes.
A lot of history there. So, we got anything else you want to cover, man?
Nah, man. I mean,
it's been about an hour.
Yeah, I've really...
Hour and 8 minutes.
Really had a great time here today.
Thank you for coming on. You going to come back on?
Man, I'd love to come back on. We can talk about anything you want.
We need to do it closer to the chicken. Maybe I'll get Jenkins and he'll jump in here because Jenkins, he's big. He runs 100-mile races.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah.
I hate him.
He runs. He's a big marathon guy, yeah, but he's making the switch over to biking. And or he's going to do them both, but he's really got into the biking part of it. Him and I got another buddy, the Kyle Hickey, that just bought a Yeti e-bike. I mean, first bike.
Yeti e-bike,
and went for all in first bike.
Man, you talk about going all in.
That's all in. Yeah,
I'd hate to see that bill.
Very affordable. I mean, what bike are you looking at?
I'm actually looking at the
Trek Rail.
No, well, Trek Rail is one of them.
Excalibur
is the Intense Taser.
Intense. Intense makes a nice bike.
Yeah, Intense. I got a buddy in North Carolina has an Intense. Kelly Ribble, shout out.
Okay.
And he has an Intense that I've ridden.
I know I went to Trek the other day and just to visit the store, and man, they had like $3,500, $3,700 up there at that one in Dublin, I think, or might have been $4,000. I don't know. It was very cheap for that bike, and it was a Trek Excalibur e-bike, full suspension.
Yeah, that's the good thing is if you're going to get into mountain biking, now's the time to do it because prices are plummeting.
They are. They're because they flooded it with COVID, and then everybody went back to work. Yeah,
you were holding on to a piece of gold if you had a bike.
Yeah,
at COVID.
Yeah, you couldn't find them, could you?
No.
Yeah,
no. As a matter of fact, right when COVID hit, I was sitting outside with my wife for spring. We were wearing jackets. It was a spring evening, and Instagram stories, the Hub and Pisgah Tavern out of Pisgah.
Yeah.
You've been there, I'm sure.
Yep.
Great bike shop, you know.
Awesome.
All the bike shops.
Like the Cabela's of bike shops.
I mean, all the bike shops down there are great. I love it because, I've never been in a bike shop where you can go to a bar and get a beer.
Coffee,
Coffee, a beer, whatever, walk around, food trucks at a shop.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So they posted a Santa Cruz Chameleon for sale, and I bought it on site because I'm like, these things are going, they're not going to be available, and they weren't, and they shipped it right to me, and it was a used demo. Yeah, which I don't care about that.
Yeah, you still ride it?
I actually sold it.
That's
the thing, man. I sell them as quick as I get them.
I think you were on an IB the last time I saw you.
I got an Ibis, yes.
Yeah,
I got an Ibis Ripley.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, that was the first day I met you down there. I think you was riding out and I was coming in.
I have an Ibis Ripley and I have a Surly Krampus single speed, which I absolutely...
I like those Surleys.
Man, Surleys. Yeah. I just saw I was watching Seth's Bike Hacks, And this guy said, man, when the apocalypse happens, you'll have cockroaches and surleys. And I'm like, yeah, because they are, man. They are the
durable bike.
The Mad Max of bicycles.
Yep. Cool bike. There was people I raced in that series last year, that Funduro series. And a lot of people on Surleys.
Yeah, Surleys are great. And they're affordable now.
They're getting affordable. And I mean, here's what I tell people all the time. You'll agree with me. You can't buy a set of golf clubs any cheaper. You go out and buy the bag, the balls, you know, the whole works, you know, get your outfit and do the whole deal. You'll be all in on what you are on a mountain bike.
Absolutely. You know, I love this one. I'm sure you get it. You can get a bike at Walmart for...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, go take it one trail.
Yeah. And you'll see.
And you'll see.
If it makes it.
If it's going to fall apart.
Yeah. Because, dude, you're hitting that route that you guys just cut it out, that one on the left going out Farm View as soon as you cross the bridge.
We didn't cut that out. I left it because that thing could be controversial because that's old school. That, you know, the old school guys, that route is made to make you miserable.
That route sucks.
Well, now...
It about broke my hip when I first started riding.
Did you climb it now?
Oh, yeah, now I can climb it.
Because I put a rock in and kind of did some...
Oh, I could climb it, years ago. But the first time I rode there, like, you know, heavy again, 4 years ago, I flipped over backwards off of it.
Yeah. We see, that's what... I'm like, that is, you know...
But now I get it. But I tell everybody, like, hey, the worst part of it is as soon as we get in here, there's a route that'll kick your ass.
Yeah, it's just some of the fun of Gatewood.
Yeah, but yeah, the bikes they've just come such a long way. But yeah, it's going to be cool to see what happens down there, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that develops over the years.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. You know, we've got some Airbnb. You know, we spoke about Airbnbs. I hope I'm not keeping your time.
No, you're good.
So, you know, we've got a couple that another investor that's come to Rio that have bought some land, and their plan is 7 cabins.
Okay.
That overlook the Bob Evans Valley. It's going to be ideal.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to cater a couple of those cabins to trail people.
Oh yeah.
Bike wash stations.
Yeah.
You know, places to hang your bike.
I'm going to do that at mine here, and I'm going to. It's just going to be another niche for me, but I'm going to, you know, advertise the tri-count or the tri, you know, effect of trails you got here. You got Bailey's, and Great Seal within 25 minutes.
Yeah, all
3 of them.
Each direction.
Well, Bailey's about 40.
Yeah, but Bailey, I mean, you know, unbelievable. But look at the amount of money invested there.
Millions.
You know, Gatewood, you're seeing that. That's
sweat equity.
That's sweat. That's a few $1,000s, couple cases of beer, and just sweat.
Lots of sweat.
Basically, that's what we've done.
And Bailey's is machine. Some of it.
Oh yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah, most of it's machine.
I mean, it shows and it gets a lot of traffic. And look how it's transformed, like Chansey. Don't say it wrong, Matt.
Yeah.
Look how it's transformed that community alone.
Yeah.
You know what was dilapidated and forgotten.
No traffic.
Now there's, you know, look at their park, their restaurants, their catering. You know, because a mountain biker gets off a bike, first thing generally he wants to put every calorie back in. That's why we don't get any skinnier, because we go right from there to eat a burger and drink 6 beers.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
But they want to spend that money in your communities.
Yeah. I don't think you see I think you see it's like 50-50. You see just as many guys that are in it for the fun. Like me, I'm kind of half in it for the fun, half in it for the exercise. Yeah. Like I'm cool either way, you know, I like to have a good time.
Man, I'm 49. Yeah. I might as well say 40.
Yeah. And
if I can still get out there and just have fun,
I'm cool.
I'm totally cool.
Yeah. And I mean, now there's guys that love the suck. You know, they love I call it love the suck.
Yeah, Robbie Jacks, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, but they love to, Matt, Jenkins is that way. But they just want to just grind it and push it out. I mean, I don't want to do it every ride.
Yeah, I don't want to,
you know, so I mean.
I ride with some guys and I tell them, you know, we can go down the hill too.
Yeah.
We don't just have to climb.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, and there's guys that love climbing. There's guys that love tech.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite where I fell in love with it was snowshoe.
Oh. Listen, that showed me what a terrible mountain biker I am, you know, when it comes down to it, because that is some serious, like.
It's what
a beautiful
spot.
It's
just awesome.
What a beautiful spot, too. And there's something for everybody there. You know, now those black diamonds, dude.
Don't touch them.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I stay on the
don't
blues.
even, I would stand on the edge of those and be like, where do you even see a line here? And then you'd see some 18-year-old kid.
Did you do that big drop? Did you do the drop? The big one on the western side?
Oh, Lord, no.
I haven't done that yet either.
No.
I will do that.
I tell you, if you want to have fun at Snowshoe, go to the World Cup.
It's not there this year.
I know. We were there last year.
Did you? I was there the week before. So whenever I got there, I stayed in Airbnb over there. And so as I rode a couple days with them, but all the teams got there while I was there.
Oh, yeah. It was probably hopping, right?
It was starting to. And I got there on like Wednesday or Thursday, and I stayed through Sunday. And the World Cup was like the following weekend or following week. So they were all coming in on like that Friday and Saturday. So I'm going to shout out Abby Ronka. I rode the ski lift with her one day. She was a badass in that women's division. And I mean, dude, it's like dropping off a building.
It's terrifying.
Terrifying.
And so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, so much fun to watch.
They literally have a rope that you have to use to walk back up out of it.
You know, we actually walked down it one year, and then we, ski lifted up.
Yeah.
This year we did it different. We ski lifted down and walked up, found a great spot, and that's where we stayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, but the costumes and the West Virginia fans, Snowshoe was considered the best fans in the UCI. Now, what's that mean to anybody? That's the whole world.
That's
this is the fans there are off the chain crazy.
Yeah. They are. They're there drinking, having a good time.
Oh man, and I've never seen any trouble.
No,
and the bands that are playing and the amount of revenue that brings to Snowshoe, I cannot believe.
Keeps it going.
I cannot believe they've let that's. But I guess there's a good thing to that. They said that Snowshoe can now refurbish
what they have.
Yeah, because there's a lot. You ride Snowshoe. There's ruts. There's look at the brake checks in the the washboards in the berms. It's because it's high traffic, and then there's good riders there.
Best in the world.
Well, I mean, there's good riders, just Joe Blow that's coming there just to ride. Yeah. I mean,
but the best in the world go there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's I love Snowshoe. I plan on
winner gold medalists. Your gold medal winners are there.
I'll own a place there before I die.
Yeah, we took we took the kids there, my wife and I. Now, I didn't ride because I'm just doing a family vacation and. My kids fell in love with it. And my kids don't ride bikes. They don't do it. They just fell in love with the atmosphere.
Really?
And the view. Yeah.
The view.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's one of the prettier places that I've traveled to. Is Snowshoe, West Virginia. Boy, it's hell to get to, though, isn't it?
This new way I've been going up through Parkersburg and that way through Elkins isn't bad.
Really?
No, I've done all of it.
4 hours from everywhere.
Now it's 4 hours, but like I've done that mountainous 4 hours and that sucks.
Well, they said one of the reasons that they moved the UCI from there next year is because of the complaints from the riders because they're getting off a plane in probably DC.
About to close, maybe Huntington, I don't know. Charleston.
Yeah, but then you got
3-4 hours still.
Just,
I bet
kiss
that
your
would,
ass curves.
I bet that would be bad.
Well, yeah, it was just exhausting for me riding in a car there or drive.
Yeah, that's nuts. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
They're probably right. They're like, my gosh, we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Whereas they get off in like Squamish, British Columbia, and they're on the trails in 10 minutes, from Squamish Airport or.
Yeah, I bet that would suck.
Well, yeah.
I rode with some, or I didn't ride with them, but I was into bike stuff with them down there, and there was a group of like 6 of them. They were from like Romania. And hardtails, okay, all riding rigid bikes. They had front suspension, but they were riding that 100-mile enduro through the back country, and they would go do it every day. They would go do that 100 miles every day on those hardtails. Yeah,
I mean that's just a whole new level. I can't. That's a whole new level of
They were all about that big around.
Absolutely,
and they were all riding these.
Probably eating 10,000 calories.
Probably, and they went every day because like we actually left at the same time and came back at the same time one day, and the lift opened at 10, so we were all getting our bikes out. I was talking to them, and they all were wearing their uniforms and everything. And they left the parking lot of the Mountain Lodge. And they went and they did 100 miles that day. And about 4:30, we was all putting our bikes back up for the day, and maybe 5:30. They all come in and they had just done it, and then Saturday we all did it again. And I was like, "Did you guys do that 100 again today?" Oh yeah, there was only one guy who could speak English.
I know what 50 miles on a road bike's like. 100 miles of backcountry at snowshoe. Oh,
I've heard that snowshoe backcountry's crazy.
I didn't ride it. I went with it. There was 4 of us went to the 48 festival to ride.
Okay, I want to go to that this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's expensive. It's an expensive ticket, but it's worth it. It is super good. I mean that's one hell of a music festival.
July 21st.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So great lineup this year too.
Yeah.
Flaming Lips.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the next morning they went and rode backcountry, but they got caught in the rain within an hour. I mean, it rains hard to shut the lift down, but they let them ride the lift. But they said it was really hard. You know?
Yeah. It looks hard. Like it looks like nothing but tech.
Now I think that's maybe where an e-bike could thrive.
I didn't take mine. I went to ride mine and decided not to because too many people told me if I got down in there and I got lost,
Run out of battery.
I'd run out of battery. And they said if you get lost, you're just so deep.
Do you keep an extra battery on hand?
No.
You don't have an extra battery because an extra battery is $500 on those things.
It's like 8.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. Now I've ran out of battery. I've rode a couple times. I tell you where I've been riding a lot here lately and running out of battery just because it's wintertime. Is Lake Hope.
Oh yeah, Lake Hope's cool.
It's got
they've got the same volunteer spirit, as Gatewood.
Yeah.
Now, the Lake Hope people, the Great Seal people, they're dealing with state park rules, whereas we're dealing with, Skatopia rules.
yeah. Well, you gonna come back on the show?
Oh man, I would love to. I mean, really, more people need to do this.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Easter, he's mayor of Rio Grande, but look up on Facebook the Gatewood Trail System.
Gatewood Trail System. I mean, or just come down and take a walk.
Yeah, take a hike. You'll love it.
Take a hike, and maybe you'll want to bike.
Maybe. All right. See you.